Patrick Mahomes, who last year won the Super Bowl and NFL MVP in one season. And honestly, there's a chance that he has even better weapons this year, believe it or not. So we're going to get right into it right here and continuing our player prediction series going on, where we have just about, I think, 3 or 2 days left of this series, and then it's done. Then we're over to team predictions. So if you guys like NFL content like that, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. And now over to Patrick Mahomes. So he had 5,250 passing yards last year, 41 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and won the Super Bowl. So yeah, there's a lot there. Somehow, I think there's a chance he can actually have even better weapons around him this year. Whether it's better numbers than that, I don't know. I'm not sure how it can get a whole lot better than that. But let's do a quick overview of what last year was like for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So clearly, we're going to keep this brief. There's not a lot of red there. There's not a whole lot of, bad games. I mean, 2 back-to-back 400-plus passing yard games. I'm not really going to focus on this too much. I think it was against Denver the second time around where he had the really cool, flip pass to Jared McKinnon, who ran, 60-something yards for a touchdown. So that play was really cool. And, yeah, they won the Super Bowl. So, again, it's kind of like our other players where we're going to talk about, what they did wrong, what they did right, because there's not a whole lot to critique when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, but there is a lot to talk about when it comes to this season. So let's zoom out of this real quick, and we're going to be going to the Chiefs depth chart as of right now, because Patrick Mahomes, believe it or not, with the season he just put together, actually didn't have a bunch of crazy weapons around him other than Travis Kelce, really. So if we come over to here to the Kansas City Chiefs depth chart, and hopefully you guys can see that okay. So there's Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Sky Moore, and Travis Kelce. And I want to really highlight a lot of players here because it doesn't really do it justice how they have it laid out, because a lot of these guys I think are going to see the field that aren't really looking at it like this. So you have Patrick Mahomes, obviously the leader of that offense. Pacheco had a great year last year. You get Kadarius Toney, who has the longest punt return in Super Bowl history, to set you up for a touchdown, and eventually you win the Super Bowl. Marquez Valdes-Scantling was pretty solid. You have Sky Moore now his second year. You draft Rashee Rice, and then you also have Justin Ross. Now, into the weapons, because I want to get really into this. Now, look, Sky Moore didn't have the craziest year. I think he was expected to have a bit of a better year than what he had. But again, he's a rookie. Now it's kind of, second year. Juju's gone. There's an open spot. Someone can take a step up. Sky Moore is there. I think he has a much better year than last year. Kadarius Toney, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't count on him being healthy. I think it's a serious issue. When it comes to these videos, I don't usually talk about people being hurt or anything like that because I don't want to predict injuries. But Kadarius Toney, I think, has passed the kind of make-believe threshold to where injuries are a very real possibility for him this year. And I'm really afraid it's going to happen to where it's not going to be a whole lot of consistency of seeing him perform on offense. When he does, it is really fun to see. He is shifty. He can run. I mean, he's a really fun player to watch. But I just don't really see it happening very much. I think the hamstrings, the knee, it just kind of seems to always linger with him. But moving on from him and Sky Moore, you have Rashee Rice. He actually looked pretty good in training camp so far. He had a nice touchdown catch in the back of the end zone from Patrick Mahomes. As a rookie receiver, best case scenario is having Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. It doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't. I mean, that's a top-tier quarterback, probably the best in the league in my opinion, giving you the ball and makes your life a lot easier, makes the transition a lot easier. So Rashee Rice is someone that I can see making some serious plays. But I want to talk about Justin Ross. Now, Justin Ross has quite the history with injuries. I believe it was, I think maybe a knee at one point and then also a back thing to where I think he has, I'm not sure if it's I don't know if there's a problem with his back or whatever it is, but it's basically where if he gets hit a certain way, it could result in, in serious, kind of paralyzation, could be permanent, all that kind of stuff. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to get super into it. I really don't know where that stands, but I know it took him out of playing time a lot of football during his college career at Clemson for majority of the time, but eventually I believe he goes undrafted and the Chiefs pick him up. Now, why am I mentioning him? Because as an 18-year-old on Clemson, he outperformed guys like T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, and someone else that I now can't remember. But still, he had quite the season. And again, that was back in 2018. I get it. It was a while ago. But Justin Ross is pretty big. I believe he's about 6'4", 210 pounds. A video just surfaced from training camp of him absolutely having a filthy route on a corner. The guy literally goes off frame. He adjusts his gloves, like wipes his gloves off mid-route and then catches the ball. This guy has serious potential. If he can stay healthy, he will be the best receiver on this roster. And I seriously believe that because the physical attributes he has are like unlike anything else on the roster as far as receiver goes. It's just the injury history that is definitely scary there, but I think it's very possible Justin Ross has a very solid 2023. Now, here's why I think this offense is just so exciting, though, regardless of Patrick Mahomes, because you have Isaiah Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, Jerick McKinnon gets in a lot of kind of like almost passing plays, screen passes, and that type of thing. But the Chiefs offense, I mean, you can hand off to Pacheco, but look at the guys at receiver. You have Kadarius Toney. He could catch it as a screen and take it for 50-plus yards. So can Sky Moore. So can Rashee Rice. Like, it's not a lot of, like, Mike Evans, Metcalf-type receivers, like, where it's more a jump ball. These are some serious playmakers where you can scheme up some crazy stuff. Last year against the Raiders, they jumped around a circle with their hands all linked together and scored a touchdown. I don't think the play counted, but, like, they do some crazy stuff. So I think looking at this roster, if these guys fall into place where they could potentially definitely fit into this offense, I mean, it is going to be a nasty offense. It's going to be impossible to stop. It's already impossible to stop. But as Travis Kelce is realistically getting older, he probably doesn't have 3+ more kind of elite years left, in my opinion. You are going to have to start bringing in other guys. Tight end, it's not there on the roster as of right now. Noah Gray is not going to be the next Travis Kelce or anything even league-wide, in my opinion. I don't think he'll even be, like, top 25. But, again, yeah, Mahomes giving the ball, so I guess it's definitely possible. However, when it comes to receivers, though, there is a lot on this roster to work with. I think the only fear you have is Kadarius Toney's injuries. Otherwise, and I guess Justin Ross. But other than that, Rashee Rice, as a rookie, he's looking pretty good. Sky Moore, he's supposed to be having a great second year. He had a very solid rookie year. There just wasn't a whole lot of exposure, really. But I think this is an offense that's very friendly, and being able to get him the ball and get him reps to get used to the NFL a bit more. And again, Juju's gone. There is a slot open on this team, and I really think it's going to be someone that's really exciting to watch because whether it's Kadarius Toney or Sky Moore or Rashee Rice or Justin Ross, any of those players are going to be incredibly fun to watch, and Patrick Mahomes is going to be absolutely unstoppable if this becomes a, like, not Bengal-like wide receiver trio, because that's a bit excessive. The Bengals have, like, the best wide receiver trio in the league. But this could be the best playmaking, maybe, wide receiver trio in the league, if all these guys kind of come to what they can definitely, turn into. So when it comes to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I mean, you're putting up these numbers with your best weapon as a tight end. I don't want to discourage that, okay, Travis Kelce is one of the best tight ends of all time, but still, you don't have, like, a true wide receiver one. Like, any receiver on that roster, if they go to a different team, none of them are wide receiver one level. That's just the truth. What Mahomes does with the weapons around him is absolutely incredible. Giving it to running backs, Kelce aside, giving it to the receivers. I mean, he was helping Juju out. Marquez Valdes-Scantling is a good receiver, but he's not wide receiver one potential on most other teams. Like, Mahomes is deadly just because of the way the offense is built and the way he can run it and the things he can do. He's someone that if he's on your team, you always have a chance to win. And if those guys that we mentioned, like Justin Ross, can turn out to be a serious wide receiver in the NFL, he's going to be probably the best receiver that Mahomes has ever had to work with. And again, I know there's a lot of question marks there around his health, around what he can do. But even Kadarius Toney, I mean, if he can even just stay healthy, that's a lot of playmaking ability in one receiver right there. And you still have Sky Moore. Valdes-Scantling has been solid. But again, Rashee Rice is there. We don't even know what he's capable of, but they drafted him for a reason. So Patrick Mahomes, I think, is going to be playing at this level for a very long time. I think it's going to probably change the offensive format, I guess. It's kind of like, the Kelce stuff. I think it'll probably transform into more screens and all that kind of thing. But it's going to be really exciting to watch. And if I'm a Chiefs fan, I know that my team is not going anywhere when it comes to Super Bowl kind of caliber. Guys, that is going to do it for the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. We're doing more player predictions videos for the next, I think, 3-ish days. Team prediction videos will be way more in depth about the offense and the defense and the coaching and schedule and all that kind of stuff. We also do NFL tier list videos and NFL quiz videos. And then on August 15th, Madden 24 is dropping. We do a bunch of videos with that too. So if any of that sounds interesting to you guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.